It was the kind of rain that soaked through your bone as a cold, relentless, and angry. Jack Reynolds, a 36-year-old single dad from upstate New York, was rushing to get his daughter's forgotten lunch to her elementary school when he saw her. She was crouched on the side of the road, trying to change a tire with hands that shook from the cold. A red firefighter's jacket hung loosely on her shoulders, soaked and clinging to her skin. Her hood was down, her face was pale. Something about the desperation in her eyes made him pull over without a second thought. "Hey," Jack called through the downpour. "Need help?" The woman looked up. "Yeah, I don't want to bother you. I'm almost done." "Trust me, I've changed enough tires in the rain to call it a weird hobby," he said with a crooked smile. She finally let out a short laugh, the first crack in her guarded exterior. They worked together in silence for a few minutes, him kneeling in the mud, her holding the flashlight steady despite shivering hands. When the job was done, Jack handed her a dry blanket from his back seat and asked if she needed a ride somewhere. "I'm good. Just a broken bar. Long night," she murmured. She started to walk away, but Jack called after her. "Hey, I've got coffee and chicken soup at home. You look like you could use both." She hesitated, then nodded back at his modest house. Jack handed her a steaming mug and watched as she cradled it like it was the first warmth she'd felt in days. His daughter, Emily, came down from her room and chirped a curious hi at the stranger. The woman smiled a tired but genuine and said her name was Kate. They didn't talk about much. Jack learned she was a firefighter. She lived alone. She had no family nearby. She didn't say why she'd been out in the rain, and he didn't press. When she finally left that evening, she turned back at the door. "You didn't even ask my last name," she said. "I figured I'd learn it if we ever crossed paths again," Jack replied. She smiled faintly. "We will. 2 weeks passed. Life went on. School runs, work shifts, dinners for two." But Jack couldn't stop thinking about Kate. The way she flinched when sirens passed, the way she never really looked warm, even inside. Then one night, as thunder rumbled again outside, there was a knock at the door. Jack opened it and froze. Kate stood there, but she wasn't alone. Behind her were two men in formal uniforms and an elderly woman clutching a faded photo. The expression on their faces was unreadable. "Jack," Kate said softly, "I owe you the truth." She stepped aside, and the older woman spoke. "My broken bar was the firefighter who pulled Kate out of a burning building 6 years ago. He died saving her life." Jack's heart skipped. Kate continued, "After he died, I promised myself I'd repay his kindness someday, live the way he did. The night you found me, I wasn't just stuck in the rain. I'd just come from pulling a family out of a house fire. The father of broken bar didn't make it." Her voice cracked. "He left behind a daughter about Emily's age. I kept thinking, what if it were you and Emily?" I broke down, and you, a broken bar. You reminded me that kindness still exists." The knock wasn't about exposing a secret. It was about closure. She handed Jack a folded letter. "Your name was in his journal. He helped you once, years ago. You were in a car accident on I-90. He pulled you and Emily out before the car caught fire." Jack's breath caught. He had never known the name of the firefighter who saved their lives. "And now a broken bar. I helped his son," he whispered. Kate nodded. That night, the storm passed. Jack, Kate, and Emily sat together at the kitchen table, sharing soup, laughter, and stories that had waited years to be told. In a world that often forgets the quiet power of human connection, one act of kindness had come full circle. From one stranger in the rain, a broken bar, to another soul in need, a broken bar, to a little girl who would grow up surrounded by a legacy of love. Final message. Sometimes, the smallest act of stopping in the rain can echo across years and generations, because kindness, once given, finds a way to return. Every knock on the door or a broken bar might just be fate coming home. Jack found himself looking at life through a new lens, one shaped by the realization that we're all connected in ways we can't always see. Emily kept asking if Aunt Kate would visit again, and when Kate did, she came not as a mystery but as part of their lives. It turned out Kate had been wrestling with guilt and purpose ever since the fire that took her fellow firefighter's life via Jack's rescuer. That fire had changed her, turned her into someone who ran toward danger instead of away, but it also left scars invisible to the world. The night Jack helped her wasn't just about a flat tire, it was about giving her permission to breathe again. to be human, not just a hero. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees and Emily played in the yard, Jack and Kate sat on the porch. "You ever think about how random it all seems?" Jack asked, sipping his coffee. "One night, one tire, one choice, see a broken bar." Kate gave a soft laugh. "I used to think it was random. Now I think it was grace." Silence settled between them, and not awkward, but full, like something was building quietly, patiently. Jack turned to her. "So broken bar, what now?" Kate met his eyes. "Now, we live, we show up, we teach our kids that kindness isn't weakness, it's strength. And when life knocks again, we open the door." 1 year later, the sound of laughter floated from the backyard. Emily was wearing a firefighter's helmet 2 sizes too big, chasing a puppy around the grass. Kate sat beside Jack at a family barbecue. Neighbors, friends, even the elderly woman from that fateful night, now known affectionately as Grandma Joan, was there, flipping burgers like a pro. Jack put an arm around Kate's shoulders. "You ever miss the firehouse?" he asked. "Sometimes," she said, "but I found a new kind of rescue." She gestured toward Emily, who was now tugging on Joan's hand, asking for another marshmallow. Jack smiled. "Yeah? Yeah," Kate said, resting her head against him. "You both saved me that day, and I didn't even know I needed saving." Final scene. That night, as they tucked Emily into bed, she asked, "Daddy, a broken bar, is Kate my mom now?" Jack paused. Kate knelt beside the bed. "I'm not your mom, sweetheart. But I love you just like one." Emily nodded, sleepy-eyed. "That's good enough for me." And as the light clicked off, and the quiet settled in, Jack whispered to Kate, "Maybe we were all just waiting for the right knock." Kate smiled in the dark. "Then thank God you opened the door." Closing message. In a world that can often feel disconnected, the simplest acts of kindness are offering a blank